Alright, in this video we're going to be doing a couple of different things on a Chevy Cruze 1.8 liters. This is a 2012 model. So I recently picked this up for relatively cheap. What happened is spark plug loosened up and shot out of the cylinder. Shot up, hit the coil pack, and then it wasn't running right, and it also had a lot of oil in the cylinders. The little coil pack cover is gone. It went flying apparently. The previous owners, they didn't know much about cars. They let it sit for a few months, I think like 6 months at least, and then they sold it, or they're going to go sell it. Then eventually they realized that the spark plug had just come out and whatnot, so they put that back in. It ran, but not great, and then I bought it. I picked it up for a good price, so I went ahead and checked it out. It was getting a P0304 and a P0352, which is cylinder 4 misfire, and as well as ignition coil D, which I believe is cylinder 4, assuming it goes A, B, C, D. It's a whole coil rail on this vehicle, so we're going to go ahead and change that out. The codes actually aren't on there now, but I haven't been driving it lately, and it was pretty shaky when I was driving it, so this should take care of that. Also, we had oil in the cylinder, and the spark plug wells is what they told me, so I'm going to go ahead and just change the valve cover as well. You can get just the valve cover gasket, but I found the whole valve cover online on eBay for basically the same price, if not a little bit cheaper than the gasket alone at like a parts store. So here we go. So even though it's not actually misfiring seemingly right now, I'm going to change the rail because, as you can see, when the spark plug shot out, it's quite a bit of compression. It shoots up. The bolt is sitting way deeper in that well than versus this one. So I'm going to go ahead and take it off. Normally there'd be a little clip here on this with a little orange tab, but looks like they just broke it, or it may have broken when it came off previously, so that's all we gotta do there. And this harness here, pop it out of the way, just lift it up on it. That's all we had to do there. So I got that out of the way. I'm gonna take these off. Those are T40 Torx. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop those off. Alright, yeah, so that definitely, I didn't even need to unscrew it because the bottom part of it's right here. So yeah, we definitely need to replace this rail. So got it off right there. I'm just going to go ahead and take off the whole valve cover then, I guess, at this point. And here's a close-up broken there. As you can see here, not broken on the other one. So that's what happens when a spark plug shoots out. Alright, so now I'm just going to go ahead and take the harnesses off here that are around the valve cover. Looks like we got a plug here because this cable goes right over top of it. So I'm going to go ahead and just slide the flat head up in here and pop out this yellow tab here. And then, so this guy pops off to the side. That's probably all I really need to do, just get it out of the way. And then this back cover here, I didn't show it, but you just pull up on it and it pops right off. And gets it out of the way enough. I don't like taking off more stuff than I need to, so I'll probably call it good at that as far as for the harnesses, because there's plenty of room to work now to get to all the bolts. Looks like we got maybe some kind of PCV hose or something in the back here, so you can't really see it from where you're at, but there's a retaining clip on it right there that I just took off by hand. And then the hose just pops off, so that's easy. And there's another harness back there on the back. I'm not really sure what it's to, but I'm popping it off anyways. Same kind of plug is up here, so it's got a little yellow tab. Yeah, so you push it on the yellow tab, and then you can push it on the connector and pop it out. So looks like that's all that's held to the valve cover. Alright, and looking at it, it's E10. E-Torx 10 milliliter, I'm assuming is what that means. So go ahead and start taking off basically all the ones that I see. Alright, so it's going to pry right here. Alright, so that was pretty much it. A couple of them weren't as loose as they could have been. Alright, so here's what we got. We got the new valve cover. It's not an OEM valve cover, it's not an OEM GM, it's just an eBay Chinese special. It only cost me about, I forgot, like 30 bucks or something with the valve cover gasket. It's got all the new bolts and everything too, which is great. So I went with it. It was cheaper to get that than to get just the gasket alone at my local parts store, and seeing as how this is plastic, I'd rather have a new part on hand instead. So yeah, I'll probably just keep this one since it wasn't cracked or anything like that, just in case this eBay one turns out to be crap. I'm sure it'll be fine though. So yeah, it looks the same and everything like that, so I'm going to go ahead and fit the gasket. There's a couple spots where you put a few dabs of RTV, so I'll show you where we do that. Alright, and there are 2 spots where we put a little bit of RTV sealant, or actually 3 total. So we put them here in the corners here where it goes from flat to straight up. So on the 2 back ones, and then the middle bolt hole around here at the top. So I'm just going to put a couple of dabs there. I didn't see any on the old valve cover, but everything I find online says to put it on there, so that's what I'm doing. And from there, I'm going to go ahead and let that set up for a little bit, just so it should be good. And then the valve cover, I prepped the new one with the valve cover gasket. I just kind of press it in real good into all these crevices on the new valve cover. And I'm replacing these with some Autolite iridium. So I'm not going to show doing all of them, because once I show one, it's really all of them. So these are what I got here. These are Autolite iridiums 3923. I went with these because they were pretty cheap. They're not OEM AC Delco or anything, but I got them for like 12 bucks shipped on eBay, so can't really go wrong there. Alright, I got the spark plugs changed, and just to show you where the spots were RTV'd, I RTV'd there, there, and there in the corners. The only spots where I found online that says you should do it, so that's what I'm going with. The rest of it should seal with the gasket. That's all, just kind of snug them up. I'll put the torque rating in the description in case you care, but it's a valve cover on a Chevy. It's not exactly a head gasket or rod bolts or anything like that, so not much to it. So now I'm going to go ahead and put my new coil packs in. Alright, and I may end up regretting this because I bought this on eBay and it was only like maybe $30, 32 bucks or something. But then not anything to this really. You saw how it came out easily, so the new one's going to go in just as easily. And just kind of push down on. Go wipe everything down here once I'm finished completely. So I've got a new coil pack cover, but I'm going to go ahead and start the car first, make sure it runs fine. So I forgot to get a clip of it running prior to, but that's much better because obviously it would randomly misfire number 4. So I'm going to go ahead and put the new coil cover on. And then this is actually an OEM part. It's actually only like under $10 shipped off of eBay, and it's actually an OEM one. The only OEM thing I bought here, which is kind of ironic, is the one thing that probably doesn't really matter. Alright, and we're all finished up. That was a very easy job. Anybody could really do this. All you need is a couple of hand tools. The sockets are the one weird thing. So, but they do sell them at normal parts stores, since apparently a lot of GM products use these particular sockets and whatnot. So we should be good there. Not much to it. Pretty simple job overall. But if you have any questions or comments, concerns, just let me know in the comment section. I'm sure some of you will. And I will report back how this Chinese valve cover and coil packs work out.